Coach Joe LaTorre. Morning, Coach.
How you doing, Sully?
Pretty good, man. You guys got a big game here today, but we wanted to get into next week a little bit, and probably the most anticipated game of the season. You guys are going to be hosting rival Mainland on Tuesday night at 7 p.m. I know you guys are psyched up for that. Obviously, you got to get through today and play well today, but talk about that rivalry a little bit. I know these guys have been kind of going back and forth for a few months about this game.
Well, I mean, Mainland Ocean City, regardless of what sport it is always a good game, just because of the pure rivalry. I know the last 5 years I've been here, every time we play them, it's a one-goal game either way. In fact, I think out of the last 5 years, we also had 2 overtime games as well. So, unfortunately, regardless of skill on either side, man, it's always a close game. And I mean, I mean, they're the games you coach for, and you know the kids love playing in. But you know, by the end of the game, you probably lose about 5 years off your life from watching both teams compete at the highest level and pushing each other as hard as they can. And the nice thing is you see the best out of both teams when we play.
Now, Coach, did you push for a night game? How did this all come about? Obviously, you got the new turf field over there, and should be a tremendous atmosphere over there this year.
Well, one of Mainland's coaches, Ben, a good friend of mine, we were talking about doing it last year at Mainland, but something came up, and they moved it back down to 4 o'clock last year. This year, once we got the turf, I asked him if he'd be interested, and he was down for it, and it actually, it probably helps, too, that we have a track meet that day at home, too, so we wouldn't be able to use the field till after that, track meet's over anyway, which would probably start around 7. But as long as the weather holds out, I know they're predicting rain, but if it's a clear night, man, I think it's going to be a crazy atmosphere.
Yeah, this is definitely one of those games where, kind of like in basketball where the student sections come out, they paint their faces, they got the, the school colors and all that stuff. And as a high school player, this is definitely, like you said, one of those games you really look forward to on the calendar.
Absolutely. I mean, I know their kids are excited. I know our kids are excited. I've been counting the days down. I actually lose a lot of sleep this week, but I'm excited for Tuesday. We're very excited for today. We host Notre Dame out of Lawrenceville, and they're a very good lacrosse program. And hopefully that'll give us a good test before Tuesday, so we could tighten up things.
And Coach, you and I talked earlier this season after loss against Emmaus. I'm not sure how you say that team from out of Pennsylvania, but Emmaus, yeah, but an outstanding program, and this year you've taken some steps to really beef up the out-of-conference schedule, particularly so you can do better in games like this against some of the best teams in the Cal. And how much has that helped you guys? I know you have a couple more losses on the record than you guys are used to, but you got to believe that's going to pay off here in the end.
I'm telling you, I'd rather have more losses than wins, but play quality teams. Honestly, the 4 losses we've had were probably the best thing that could have happened to us this year. And we have a very young offense, and, that's the only way they're going to learn and grow. I mean, they don't learn anything from putting, 18, 19, 20 goals on a team that, is a brand-new program. And
right. It
doesn't help us, and it doesn't help them. And, because one of the big things when you play a program that's newer, like a lot of the newer Cal teams is, you can do things that you normally can't do against a lacrosse team. Like you could, take 30-yard shots or, dodge through 3 guys. And what these guys learn is that, I could do that. And then when you play a quality team, they learn that, okay, that won't work. There's much better goaltending and defense, and they learn, how to actually play lacrosse. Unfortunately, down here, it's still relatively new. I mean, our program's only in its 10th year, which, we're still like a very young program for the state, but we're learning quickly how to, compete with the big guys. And, the main reason for these tough out-of-conference games was, A, to get these kids to play better lacrosse, and B, the playoffs for us is a very tough time of the year because, there's a north and south. There's no central or north 1, north 2. So like a South Jersey for us is like Rumson, Fairhaven,
right,
and Manasquan, and these North Jersey powerhouses. And in years past, we'd go up, we'd have like 16, 17 wins in the season, and we'd go up there and learn that those wins didn't mean anything because they're not against quality teams, and the kids would be a little shell shocked playing a team that's that skilled. But now facing these programs, the kids learn how to adapt and play against them, and hopefully it'll pay off, come May when we're in the Group 2 playoffs and make a deep run.
Talking with Coach Joe LaTorre from Ocean City Boys Lacrosse. Coach, you mentioned how they're you can't do the types of things you do against some of the younger Cal teams, and I kind of saw that against Emmaus, where some of your guys were like, man, I can't even get within 10 yards of the goal to get a shot off, and that's because you're facing a heck of a defense that team had. So, like you said, it's definitely an eye-opener for some of these freshmen, sophomores, and juniors. Like, hey, this is big boy lacrosse. You got to take all the skills you learn in practice and really do them well to have any kind of success against a team like that.
Absolutely, and I keep telling the kids, like, I know early in the season they were, getting down on themselves because, we've never started out 0-1 or 0-2 or even 0-3, and that's where we were early in the season. I said, if you look at the teams that we lost to, St. Augustine's is 7-2, Emmaus, I believe, is 8-2, Paul VI is 6-2, and Cape Henlopen's 7-1. I said, it's not like we're losing to, teams we should be beating. I mean, it's a sin that we were within, a goal or two of most of those games, but, that's the growing pains of having a young team, that they'll learn from that and how to finish games. But, they do learn, like, especially with Emmaus. I remember their coaches telling me, how many Division I poles they have, and these kids are 6'4", 220 pounds, and the kids are already intimidated because of how big they are, but we were able to figure a few things out and get some goal. I mean, that was a 1-goal game until the fourth quarter, and we go into desperation mode, and you give up a couple goals that you shouldn't be giving up because you're playing from behind. But I think they will learn from it. I mean, especially with these young guys, it'll help them towards the future. I mean, our starting offense features 4 sophomores. I mean, and 2 seniors. When we have no seniors on the midfield, which is kind of tough because, I like to have like a senior at every position just to, push the younger guys around them. But, that this year we, unfortunately, the year before we graduated so many guys, but these guys are, answering the call. And I think we're playing the best lacrosse at the right time right now.
Good stuff as always, Coach. We appreciate you taking a few minutes. We're up against the break here. Got to let you go, but good luck today, and we'll definitely see you out there Tuesday night against Mainland.
All right, well, thanks. I'm looking forward to it. Have a good one.
All right, have a good weekend, Coach. Thanks, bud.
You too.
That's Coach Joe LaTorre from Ocean City Boys Lacrosse. Huge game against Mainland, 7 o'clock at Ocean City Carey Stadium on Tuesday. So if you want to see some great lacrosse, get out there on Tuesday night.